Okay, let's look at suppliers and suppliers invoices, stock items, non-stock items. Let's go through each invoice first. Here we can see we've got our first invoice. Let's skip all of these details and let's look at what we've bought. We bought one VW T-Cross at 340,600 rands. Now, we are a shoes company. So we clearly did not buy this as a stock item. So this is a non-stock item. And it says here, Comfy Shoes decided to buy a delivery vehicle from VW Menlyn. Create an account code for VW Menlyn. The contact person is T. Beke. Use code V001. Right, so we know that this is non-stock. Let's look at the next one. What did we buy here? 2 packs of shopper bags, 2 invoice books, and a handling fee. Now, if we look at these 3 items, it's actually quite obvious that these are also non-stock items because we will use the shopper bags to sell to our customers. We'll use the invoice books as stationery in the business, and your handling fee is basically what they have charged us. So this invoice once again is a non-stock invoice. Let's look at the next one. Next one is summer sandals. Let's see. Now, all of these items that we've purchased here, these are all stock items. So they have to be processed differently, and these will be processed in a supplier invoice, whereas your non-stock items will be processed in your supplier's journal. Your next invoice into brands will also be a stock item, and it will be processed in your supplier's invoices. Your last invoice is also a stock invoice, and it will be processed in your supplier's invoices. Right, let's look at it. Let's process the non-stock items first. So, in order for us to process the non-stock items, we need to say process journals, supplier, and we need to say supplier's journal. Now, we are working with period number 3. But before we even go to that, we need to go to our settings. We need to remove the opening balance part there because it's now different. We need to click on tax processing and ensure that it is inclusive. So that must be down to 0. That must be your processing. This year's transactions must be ticked. Your tax processing must be ticked. Your default entry method must be inclusive. And you say close. The period we're working with is period number 3, as we were told. The date for this invoice is the 1st of May 2021. So we simply put in. All we need to do, if our period is correct, we can just put in 01 and press enter, and the date will populate. Press enter on account. Let's look at who we purchased this from. VW Menlyn. If we look on our screen, we do not have VW Menlyn as any of our suppliers. So in order for us to enter it in here, we need to press F6 to add. The account code that was given to us is here. Code is V001, and our description will always be the name of the supplier, which in this case is VW Menlyn. V001, and we'll say VW Menlyn. Now, we need to go back to our question paper, and let's read more information and get more information from here. If you look at the invoice, we're going to get lots of information from there. We look at the left-hand side and it says customer details. Customer details means it's us because we are buying from VW Menlyn. We want their details. And here we can see that we have their address. So let us enter their address into the system. Go to physical address, as that is a physical address, and we can see that it is 289 January Masilela Drive. Let's type that in. 289 January Masilela Drive. Waterkloof Glen, Pretoria 001. Waterkloof Glen, Pretoria 001. I assume it's typed in as it is. Alright, so once that is done, we can then go to add our contact information, and the contact person is given to us. It's T Mbeke. So what we're going to do is we're going to type in here T Mbeke, and then we can get the telephone number, the fax number, or whatever other information is given to us. So we've got a telephone number at 028 316 1919, 028 216 1919, and we are given a mobile phone number as well, which is 028 316 1333. So we're going to say mobile phone 028 316 1333. Right, and then let's look at what else we've got. We've got a VAT registration number. Let us go and let me show you where to do that. Click on the processing tab. Once you click on the processing tab, you will see you have an item called tax reference. You simply click in the block of tax reference, and we need to fill this item in. 335 333 833. So we say 335 333 833. And now we are done adding the supplier. So we simply say save. Once we have clicked on save, we can now close the edit suppliers account screen. And we can now see that we have VW Menlyn that's here. We simply press enter to choose a supplier. We now need to go and look at all the details. What is our supplier invoice number? It's VW1001. Under reference, we simply put that in, VW1001. Press enter to go to description, and here we need to give a description on what we purchased. We can say 1 VW T-Cross. And then your description should have what you purchased. Now sometimes you'll see that everything does not fit into the description line. So you can summarize it and put down something that makes sense. After that, you press enter to go to the tax tab. Now, I always explain it in the easiest possible form. You have two types of taxes that you're going to use in your supplier's journal. You've got 01 and 05. When you are paying for an expense, you use tax type 01. When you are paying for an asset, you use tax type 05. So let's look. What did we buy? We bought 1 VW T-Cross, which is a delivery vehicle. And because it's a delivery vehicle, as we know, it is an asset. Therefore, it's going to be 05. And you press enter. And you can see here your tax on 05 is capital goods, which makes perfect sense. Now, let me just close the screen up so it will give you a better indication of what we're going to do next. After you press enter from tax, you will see that your inclusive column has got a highlight on it, which means we are now ready to put in the price which we've paid, which is 340,600. Type it in, 0 and 600. You press enter to go to contra account. Now when you add contra account, this little search icon or magnifying glass, you need to click on it, and now we need to choose the relevant contra account for what we've just purchased. We know that we've purchased a delivery vehicle, so we need to simply go down and look down this list for vehicles, because that is our contra account. And the account that we're going to use, the code is 6200/010. The description is motor vehicles at cost, and you press enter. And you are now done with this supplier invoice. However, we cannot print this journal yet because we have another invoice which we need to put in there, which is a non-stock item, which is the next item, which is from Plastilon Packaging. So let us go and put this in. The date of this invoice is going to be the 2nd of the 5th month, 2021. And you press enter, choose Plastilon Packaging. And now we need to put in the supplier invoice number under reference, which is PP115. PP115. And your description here is going to be 2 packs of shopper bags. Now, shopper bags is not an asset, which means it's an expense and your tax is 0.1. And how much did we pay for this? We paid a total of 579 Rand and 92 cents. 579. Okay, so when we click the search icon for our account, we're going to go down and we're going to choose the account which we've added, courier and handling expenses. Now, when it comes to your contra account, the reason why we're choosing this account is we see that there is no appropriate other account that's there. And remember that we've just created this general ledger account in the additional parameter setup. And if you look at it, courier and handling expenses make sense because we are buying bags and these bags will be used to courier our shoes and to pack our shoes. So we say enter. Next item that we've got, once again, the date is going to be the same because we are still working with this invoice. The date is going to be the same. The account is going to be the same. Your reference is going to remain the same, but your description is now going to change. Your description is going to say 2 invoice books. Invoice books, as we know, is an expense. Tax is 0.1. How much did we pay for these invoice books? A total of 70 Rands 90. Just enter to the contra account. An invoice book is regarded as a stationary item, so the account that we're going to use is 4200/000, which is printing and stationery. Now, we need to look at the next item. Now, if we look at the next item is handling fee 15 minutes. We need to look at this and we use the same account once again. We use the same reference. We say handling fee. We can write down 15 minutes. This once again is an expense. The amount on this expense was 11 Rands and 50 cents. The account that we're going to use here is exactly the same that we've used just now, which is the 470000 account, courier and handling expenses. Once we've got that, we can press enter. And now you can see that this entire journal is complete. We've got literally 2 supplier credit invoices that we've processed on one journal. And this is how it's supposed to be done. After you are done with this, you print it. You click on print with contrast and you say OK. And then you are done. After that, you click on update. While we are on the journals, let's go and do the supplier's allowances. At the top on entry type, you simply go to 09 supplier allowances, and double click. Ensure that it is supplier's allowances there. Then you click on settings, tax processing. Ensure that inclusive is selected once again and click on close. Go back to your question paper and let's look at our returns. Our returns to suppliers. We've got pastel on packaging and we've got summer sandals. Now we haven't done summer sandals with regards to a non-stock item, so let's look at pastel on packaging. 1 pack of shopper bags and the reason why it was torn. So let us process this item. What was the date of the invoice? It was the date of the return was the 4th of the 5th month and it was pastel on packaging. So we say period 3 that we're working with and it's the 4th. The account is Plastilon. The reference is going to be the same as the original invoice. In this particular case, the invoice number of the original invoice was PP115. So we go back to Pastel and we type in PP115. We say 1 pack of shopper bags and we give the reason torn. Your tax is going to be the exact same tax that we've used previously when we bought, which is 0.1. And your amount, let's go and calculate the amount. We looked at 2 packs of shopper bags at 289.96 per pack of 100. So basically, we bought 2 packs at 289.96. Now we are only returning 1 pack, which means the amount that we need to put in there is 289.96. So we type in 289.96. Our contra account is going to be one and the same account that we've used when we purchased. And this account was the 470000 account. We press enter and we are done with that return. We are then done with that return. You make sure you press enter to go to the next line and then you say print. And when you print, you always print with contrast. And after you print, you then go ahead and you update your journal batch. And that is how you do your supplier's journal and your supplier's allowances journal, which are non-stock items. Let's move on to stock items. Stock items are items that we as a business buy in order to sell to make a profit. We buy from our suppliers and we sell to our customers. So, in order to process this, we click on process and then suppliers. You know you're in the right place when your screen is this color, which is the blue. Now, let's look at the details on this invoice that we have here. It's from Summer Sandals. The supplier invoice number is SS016. We have a terms discount on 7.5% discount within 30 days. We have a 10% trade discount. The trade discount is your overall invoice discount. Let's look at their address, which we have here, and we have some of their details as well. So let's go. Simply press enter to choose your supplier. And who is your supplier? It is Summer Sandals. That address will pre-populate. Ensure that you go to period and make sure that we're on period number 3. You press enter. Let's look at the date. It's the 16th of the 5th month 2021, 16/05/2021. The supplier invoice number is SS016. SS016. Your invoice discount here, overall discount is 10%. Type it in, and now you have your terms. Your terms discount will always be the discount within a certain number of days. You click on this little search icon, and we need to see what was our discount. It was 7.5% within 30 days. Let's look. We have 7.5 within 30 days here. Go down with your arrows on your keyboard or click on it, and you simply say enter. Then you press enter to choose your first stock item, which we have purchased. The first item that we have is Saint and Summer Sandals. So let's go and look for it. Saint and Summer Sandals, select it, and then you press enter to get to quantity. What type of quantity did we purchase? We purchased 12 at a unit price of 421.90. Let's go back to our screen. We say 12. But we look at the screen and our unit price is 418.03. Now let's look at the question paper again. The question paper says 421.90. Now, always remember that the question paper is always the price that we need to use, the current price. So we need to ensure that this 421.90 appears in pastel. So simply go back, make sure your exclusive price is highlighted right here, and type in 421.90. And that is it for that line item. The next item that we have is kiddie sandals. So we simply go, press enter, choose the item. Sorry, I chose the wrong item. Let me choose the correct item. Go to the quantity. Let's look at the quantity. The quantity is 12 and the unit price is 156.83. Quantity is 12 and the unit price is 156.83. Always change your unit price. Next one is 8 men's flip-flops at 385.83. 385.83. Men's flip-flops. Quantity here is going to be 8. 385.83. Now let's go back to our invoice and let's look if there's anything that we don't have. So I think we basically completed this invoice, and you look at the total, 10,382 rand, 50 cents. Look at your invoice total, 10,382 rand, 50 cents. You know that it is correct. You say print document, you say OK, and then you move on to your next document. Now, let's look at the next document that we have here. Next document is into brands. Now, this invoice is particularly very tricky because of the new stock item that we are going to be adding. Okay, so we know it is into brands, so we select into brands, we press enter, the address populates, we need to choose the date. What date did we purchase? 20/05/2021. Type that in. 20/05/2021. What is the supplier invoice number? It's IB216. IB216. Press enter and let's put in our overall discount. Let's look at our overall discount and our trade discount. Our overall discount is your trade discount, which is 10%, and your terms discount is 15% within 30 days. So your overall invoice discount is the discount that appears on your invoice, which is 10%. Your terms discount is 15% discount within 30 days. So let's go back and put in our 10% discount and go to terms and click on this block. We can see now it's 15% discount within 30 days. However, we don't have this on our screen. So what we need to do is click on this button, F7, modify. With the arrows on your keyboard, you're going to go down to the first item that has a 0 and a 0, which means that this is blank. And you need to type in your new term, which is 15% discount within 30 days. So all you need to do is type in 15, press enter, type in 30 and press enter. And then you can click on OK. After doing so, you can now go ahead and choose your new discount, the terms discount that you've added, and we are ready to process the invoice. The first item that we've purchased on this invoice is 12 pairs of women's flip-flop sneakers at 1194.35. So, first item is 12 pairs of women's flip-flop sneakers. Go to our list, women's flip-flop sneakers, choose it, and it is 12 pairs at the price of 1194.35. So we type in 1194.35. Press enter to go to your next item. If we look on the screen, we do not have this item, men's flip-flop. We do not have it here. So in order for us to add this item, we press F6 and let's follow the instructions. Comfy Shoes decided to stock men's flip-flop sneakers. Capture the new inventory item. Unit is pair, discount type both, select the category and key in the cost and selling price, follow the same account code and structure, and use the next available account number for the men's category. So let's go back to our stock items, which is at the beginning of the question paper. Can you see for men's, the code starts with M and it's 001. The next one is M002. Because this is a new item for men, we're going to simply call it M003 as per what the question paper wants us to do. So we need to go back here. We say M003. The description is what we bought. Men's flip-flop sneakers. So we say men's flip-flop sneakers. Then the category, we click on it and it's obviously going to be men's. The unit is going to be pair. The cost price is going to be 1194.35. 1194.35. Now, the cost price, if you look at the bottom right hand side, it says cost prices, last unit, and you have a block. This is where you type your cost price in. Now, this particular item that I'm doing now, which adding a stock item, this is where learners and candidates in exams really mess up, because they always forget to add the selling price. You've just added the cost price. To add the selling price, there is a procedure that we need to do. We need to click on the prices tab, selling prices, price list 1 exclusive, and click on the first block. But it's not just as simple as adding a selling price. We need to calculate the selling price. And in order for us to calculate the selling price, we need to use the cost price and we need to use the markup. We know the cost price, 1194,35. At the beginning of the question paper, under stock items once again, exactly where we were, you will see the business adds a 35% profit markup to the cost price of items. So we know that our markup is now how many percent? It is 35%. So based on this 35%, what we're going to do is we're going to say 1194,35 multiplied by 135 divided by 100. This is basically your cost price multiplied by your markup over 100 plus markup. So let's go to your calculator. You're going to say 1194,35 multiplied by 135 divided by 100. And your selling price is going to be 1612,37. 1612,37. Let me repeat that. You're going to say 1194,35 multiplied by, because your markup is 35%, you're just going to add 100 to that. So it's going to be 135 divided by 100, which is 1612,37. So you go back to Paso and you type in 1612,35. And let me just double check my calculation. 1612,37. 1612,37. And then you click on Save. Now that you have the item in front of you, you're going to choose it, men's flip-flop sneakers, and you're going to choose the quantity. Because you've just added this item, you do not need to worry about the price, because the price will be the price that is there. I need to just ensure that my quantity is correct because it was not correct. The total that we have on our invoice is 44,501.48 on our question paper, and on our screen it's 44,501.48, which is perfectly correct. We can now print the document and we can move on. In this question paper, we actually have another supply invoice. I'm not going to do the supply invoice because it simply follows the same norm as what we've done. Let us move on to the returns. The returns, we've got the second return, which is on the 18th of the 5th month, which is summer sandals. Now, it is not the return for this invoice because we've only purchased from this invoice on the 25th. So it has to be this invoice that we've returned something. And let's look at what we've returned. We've returned 2 Saint and Summer sandals because the clasp is broken, and 2 kiddie sandals because it was too small. So because this is a stock item that we are returning, we are going to use a debit note. So at the top left hand side where it says document type, you click on debit note, press enter to choose a supplier, which is Summer Sandals. Enter. The period is correct, which is period number 3. And let's look at the date, which is the 18th. Ensure that the date is correct. Now we want the original invoice number. The original invoice number for Summer Sandals was SS016. SS016. Your original discount. People, we have to refer back to the original invoice when doing a return all the time. Your original discount was 10%. So you type in 10. Then you go to your stock items. The first item that we've returned is 2 Saint and Summer sandals. Now, Saint and Summer sandals, let's look at how much it was. It was $421.90. So let's choose the item, Saint and Summer sandals. There were 2, and the price was $421.90. We are only returning 2, and the original price was $421.90. 421,90. Press enter to choose the next item. The next item that we've returned was 2 kiddie sandals, which is too small. So we're going to choose kiddie sandals. We're going to choose 2. We need the original price of the kiddie sandals. The original price of the kiddie sandals is 156 rands and 83 cents. 156 rands and 83 cents. Now, we are not done with this debit note because we need to type in the reasons. Now, you see this block at the corner left-hand side here. This is where we need to start. For the first item, we don't type in Saint and Summer sandals. We just use the code W003. And then we type in the reason. The reason here is it's given to you on your returns to suppliers. Clasp broken. So we type that in. Clasp broken. Press enter. Next item. We just need the code K002. And we need to type in the reason. The reason here is too small. The reason is too small. And that is how you process this. Now, there is another way to process your reasons. And I will show that to you shortly. So, let's assume that you've learned the other way to process your reasons. Okay, once you're done with this, you click on Print Document. Let me quickly show you how to process it the other way. So, after you've got your first item, you change your next line. You click on this and you change it to remarks. And where it comes to description, this is where you write your reason. Clasp broken. You choose the next item, which was kitty sandals. We put in the original item, prices and quantity once again. I'm not changing anything. I'm just merely processing it in a different manner. 156,83. You change it to remarks again. And the reason for this return was too small. So, and you can see that is the second way to do it. All you need to do is change the line below to remarks and you can put in your reason. So you've got two methods of doing it. Whichever way is easier for you, or whichever way you've been taught to do it, you continue doing it that way so you gain more practice. Once you're done, you click on Print Document and then you are done. People, this brings us to the end of processing suppliers.